Hello guys. So the EURUSD analysis that I did call out to you guys. So I want you all to pay attention to our main focus is for us to capitalize on this trade there. Okay, we are selling this trade there. Okay, which is what I personally leverage on, and that's the reason why I've been selling around somewhere here, excuse me, and I also call another entry around this whole levels here. So that's what I want to show you guys today. Now note this, the whole selling entry that we're leveraging on, it is this correction. We're leveraging on the correction. After this wave fall, that's what we're selling downward, okay? But note, because of it's a correction, that's the reason why price is taking long to play around before it fall down. I didn't mean it is an impulse. We'll have an obvious move upward since, but you can see that price was just playing around, okay? Hopefully, it should get to this area here. Maybe next week or this week, it should get to somewhere here before we have another direction that price is likely going to go, okay? But note this is wave one, wave two here, while this is wave three, wave four, and this is the wave five. So we are selling this wave four downward there. So what makes me to call the trade? I want to show you guys that I've traded several opportunities. Before that, the previous analysis I did call out to you, this gold, like I explained in a few days, you can see this is the profit, earning profit. But note, it's likely going to go upward massively. Maybe next week, we're likely going to get to our first target, which is this whole area here. But note, our advice before the week close today, move all your stop loss from these invalidate levels, move it to somewhere here. Okay, while you withhold the remaining trade as it goes upward. So the best thing is for you to what? Allow the market to play around several times. And once you have been able to protect your capital, that's not an issue. Okay, now this was the previous analysis of the trade, and here was our January entry. And this January entry, though we book our profit here around somewhere here. To those of you that did not, you seem not to know the analysis, you can go through my channel. You will see the before and after of the analysis. You can go through it. You will see the trade before and after of the analysis, how I traded gold this year so far. You can as well learn one or two things with the analysis. Okay, now the reason why I call out the sell entry is because of what you have on my screen here. Just an example of the reason why I'm selling. I've done such thing before. The Euro US, excuse me, while I call out the sell entry, it has to do with what? Understanding what the dominant trend is saying, and in the correction aspect. So those are the reasons I want to show you guys this morning. Now, let me also show you another example of the live market. Okay, now, the reason why we are selling Euro USD is because of this, which is called triangles. Okay, and what triangles simply mean is that the dominant trend is going to resume in a structure, which are things I want to show you guys now. Let's go to the I want to show you another example of a triangle so that you guys can see. Okay, so okay, here's another example of a what? A triangles. Okay, triangles are spotted at that of wave B, wave X, or wave 4. Okay, you don't spot triangles at wave 2. It should be spotted at that of wave 4, wave B, or wave X. What triangle simply mean is that the dominant trend are going to resume, and within those triangles you should be able to have three subwave. The wave A should have three subwave, wave B should have three subwave, wave C should have three subwave, that of wave 4, wave D should have what? Three subwave, wave E should have two what? Subwave. Okay, as you can see here, these are 2023 entry, and this was spotted at that of wave B, and here was the result after. So what triangle simply mean is the dominant trend. So to me, it's obvious that possible that we're going to have a obvious rejection of Euro USD today that is likely going to fall downward. Okay, this is an example of a bullish triangle we traded last year on that of Euro USD itself. This was the result after. Okay, now let's go to the analysis itself. So this is the analysis. Don't forget, it is within this correction that we want to sell downward. We are not buying, and I will explain in details. Now, if you all pay attention to this, let's go to weekly time frame. Let's start with that of pure price action aspect. When you go to weekly time frame, as you can see here, we clearly have a rejection of price, and price rejected at 12. resistant levels, which is this, right? Before that, it was a resistance here. Resistance broken turned towards support. The moment price breaks it, it has turned to support levels. And having this support area here now, what we simply have now is that, excuse me, this resist support here. On a norm, we should have expected price to go upward, but this time around, it did break the levels. Once it breaks it, came back to test it, which was a clear indication that it is no longer a support. It has now turned to what? Resistance. So that is the reason why when price get to this area here, though we have a false breakout of weeks of momentum, but in as much price still closes below it, it is a clear indication that there are possibility of seller that wants to push the market downward. But the whole push of the market is likely just going to get to somewhere here before the buyer resume the price going upward. So if it failed to break here, have it in mind that we're likely going to have market going upward massively from here upward. So that is that of buying this whole wave 5 here. So the retracement that we want to sell now, it is this whole price coming downward now. So what I want you guys to pay attention to is this. Now, having note this, which is a clear indication, note we are not selling just based on the resistance. We also apply that of what we have as a rejection. All these momentums, they are indication that there are forces of seller in the market that wants to push the price downward. So let's go to that of daily time frame, and you can see. Now on daily time frame, you can see the whole area. Resistance levels we mark. In as more prices close below it, it's still an indication that this resistance is being what will be. Now, yesterday momentum was obvious bearish engulfing candlestick. All these, they are things that you need to capitalize. And if you also pay attention to, this is head and shoulder pattern, right? Right? You can see. So possibility, this is the neck line. So believe now is that price is going to fall downward massively. Now let's remove all this. We don't need it. We just want to go to that of the pure wave principle. Now what I usually do is this. Note, I'm not selling based on that of just on this time frame. Like I said, I start my dominant counting of from that of the higher time frame. All this impulse, correction, impulse, correction. So we want to look for reason why we want to sell within that of the correction. So which is this? So what I usually do, it's simple, which you guys can as well learn how to do it. Okay, so let's go to this. Okay, now if you look at this whole area here now, so this, okay, right, you can see this. Okay, now my capitalization, it has to do with all this area. I'm not looking for any opportunity to just sell. So reason that I want to sell should be in line with what price is telling me. So within this, let's go to that of the lower time frame so that you guys can see it clearly. Now let me go to probably 4-hour time frame. So what I want to label now for every one of you guys to learn one or two things with the analysis. Okay, so let's go to this. So not if you see, if you look at here, excuse me. So okay, gold is still playing around. So let's see. Okay, 4-hour time frame. Let's go to 4-hour time frame. Now this is 4-hour time frame. So what we have price forming, it is called triangles. Now when you have a triangles in that of wave principle, what it simply implies is that the dominant trend is going to resume. I've traded several triangles. If you want to know more, you can go and watch my previous video. I explain in details about it. Okay, now having this, did you see this? Let me remove this first so that we can all get this clearly. Okay, so this whole formation of prices, okay, right? If you look here, so we can always have this one A, B, C, D, E. So let me change this to probably red color so we can see it clearly. And this to red. Make it also bold. So let's make it bold. And this also bold. So now this is triangles, okay? Like I said, it implies that the dominant trend are going to resume. So this is wave E forming now. Now I did not expect that of the wave E to pass around somewhere here. But sometimes wave E can as well get to that of what? This levels here, but should never go above that of wave C. Wave C. If our wave E end here, excuse me, our wave E end here now, our wave E should never get above that of wave C. If it did that, note our counting is wrong. If you look here, this whole wave E that is going upward now, if it goes like this and fall back down, note that's not a triangle. So, but if it get to somewhere here, around somewhere here, right, then fall back downward, it's still in what? Intact. So now this is our, count this as our wave E, right? Possible area of interest where price is likely going to go backward, downward, right? So if you look here, having this, right? Um, now, so we've been able to pinpoint this. So this is going to be wave A, wave B, and wave C that we're selling the triangles downward. So I usually do something which I want you also pay attention to. Within that of wave A, you can see I can label 5 wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that is that of wave A, right? Now it is the wave C that we want to sell downward, okay? It can be 5 structure, it can be 3 structure, it can be any structure, okay? So, but we are selling that of the wave C downward. So this is my lookout now, which I want to also present itself. So there is possibility that wave C will come and test this whole area here. Now, let's go back to this. We want to know the figure of endpoint of wave 4. Now, you can see our wave 4 levels, it can end around there and it can end around there. You can see it is that of what? 10,500 and that of what? 9, what's it called? 1.09 around this whole area here where wave 4 is likely going to end. All this move downward. Now, if you look here, you can see the area within that of this channel, parallel channel that I did apply now, you can see is around somewhere here. So we are still intact. There are possibility that our wave still can end around somewhere here. So you all should be on the lookout for this analysis. So there's a good opportunity for every one of you guys to sell the market downward. So let me go to probably 2 hours. I want to label something for every one of you guys to also see. So now, okay, having this, so this, okay. Our priority should be that it did not get to the end point of that of wave C. Now, also, there's something I want you guys to pay attention to. Your stop loss should be at that of what? End point of wave C. Don't forget, like I said something that it should never get to that of the end point of wave C. If it get there, our counting is what? Is obviously wrong. Okay. So if it gets above that of end point of wave C, it's obvious that our counting is what? It is wrong. But in as much it's still playing around it or below it, it's still intact. Okay. So let me change this to probably this. Excuse me. Let me change the triangle itself. Excuse me. Coming to coordinate text to style. Sorry. No. So let me change it to this. Okay. So here's my lookout now. So short position. So I've colored the trade around somewhere here. Okay. I personally took entry here. So I'm going to show you guys now. Okay. The reason why I'm calling out the sell. So you can see. So this should be our target. Okay. Our risk is here. Okay. Yeah. and our target is going to be this. Okay, so those are my take on this whole analysis here. So be on the lookout for it. I've traded one. Here's an example of a bullish type of what triangles, and what it simply means is that dominant trend are going to resume. You can see it here. So let's go downward. I've traded several triangles. Okay, so you can learn one or two things. And if you want to know more of analysis while I traded most of the trade, I don't just call out trade. It has to do with me waiting for the right opportunity. Here's another triangle. You can see this was a bearish structure here, just like what we're doing now. This is wave, that of what? Wave A, wave B, wave C. This is A, B, C, D, E. You can see it. So these are example of triangles. Okay, now if you look here also, I think I also did another one. So this was meant to be a triangles, but I only use pure price action for people to see. So to learn one or two things with wave principle, we can label this as our what? As the triangles. Okay, now so if you want to know more about how I traded, so you can always go to this platform and learn one or two things. The reason why we are buying gold, this is just the example of it. This is USD CHF, but we are buying the wave 5 of that of gold. In this case, last year also, I did the same thing. You can see it here. So price is going to play around several times, but have it in mind, it's going to get our destination. So that's my take on that of the gold itself. This so-called analysis here. We're likely going to have a play around of price. So what I have here, I think this is with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what I did have there. Okay, but it's not yet obvious. Price is still playing around. So every one of you guys be on the lookout for it. Can be several correction, but in as much your stop loss, you can move your stop loss to somewhere here. And as much your stop loss did not go above this whole area here, those to you. You can as well move it to somewhere here, probably around somewhere here. Okay, around somewhere here. So and allow the market to play around. So those are my take on the whole analysis. So we continue probably later today. So if you have any other thing you want to ask me, feel free, reach out to me on WhatsApp or Telegram. Okay, I will always reply you. Like I said, this platform here, I'm not a gambler and I'm not a scalper. Hardly day trade. Most of my trade are always what? Swing trading. So swing trading, because I intend to make more profit than that of what? Having day trading or that of scalping. Okay. Now this example of trader I traded January. Here example of it. So this is example of a bullish scenario of a triangle. Like I said, triangle can be spotted at what? Three places: wave B, wave 4, wave X. If you look here, I spot this triangle at that of what? Wave 4, which was the result after. So every one of you guys can learn one or two things with those or this on this platform here. Okay, you don't just need to wait. You don't need to wait until when we have highly what potential opportunity, but you can learn one or two things by going through previous and after analysis of trade. I do have losing trade, but my winning are always much than that of my what? My losses. Okay, now you see, here's an example of a triangle that I did explain also on this. Okay, on this, and note this: I've got two channels. Okay, here's my old channel, which is here. This is my new channel. So every one of you guys, I want to ask, maybe you want one or two analysis. Okay, you can always go through the platform. And if you want to know more about this gold analysis also, in this video I explain in details of the analysis. Here was the before of it, before it start playing out as we anticipated. Okay, so and note this, not just that this week I send the analysis. Before now, I also did send the analysis. You can learn how I make use of trend line. Okay, now I want to show you your analysis. This also move your stop loss to entry. It's going to go upward massively. Okay, but I think it's around somewhere here now. Somewhere here now. I still believe it will still go well upward massively. These were stopped out with 300 pips last week. Okay, so those are my take on the whole analysis. There was the gold analysis. Okay, initial stage for jumping into what? The EURUSD from the initial stage we projected anticipation of the correction. Okay, so you can learn one or two things from the whole analysis chart setup I drop on the whole platform. So thank you all. Be on the lookout for this whole analysis. Bye.